This isn't your parents' TV show. Oh, wait, it is. Brought to you by the wonderful folks at Oklahoma State University. Narrated by Andy Luse. Co-executive produced by Sierra Steelman. Picture it, if you will, that first day of class. Wide-eyed anticipation in all your students. You sit up front, sweating, perspiring gently at the thought of a new semester dawning. Try to decide, how can I do that critical class introduction so I can capture the imagination of the students to carry me through the rest of the semester? Well, what did the professor do for you? Did they do something like, who are you? Where are you from? What did you do fun over the summer? That seems a bit awkward. So, me. Hello, my name's Andy Luse. I'm a TV addict. Flashback, if you will. Many years ago, I was a bubbling undergrad, ready to go into my first college. I thought to myself, Andy, you've got to quit playing the video games. You've got to hunker down and really study. Problem was, I just traded the video game addiction for another addiction, TV. I watched many hours of TV, and it became a problem. Good news is, as we fast forward to today, I'm in recovery. 2 years ago, I got rid of all streaming platforms, no Netflix, no Hulu, no Amazon Prime, etc. Last year, I got rid of my cable subscription. So, I am like the Luddites of old, with my antenna up in the attic, watching something over the airwaves. But before then, I was a TV addict. So, what did I want to do for my introduction? I thought, well, I could feed my addiction a little while also making it a little bit different and hopefully entertaining. I'll ask the students, where are you from, who are you, and what's your favorite TV show? And so, what I started noticing over time, just anecdotally, I had my TA keep track of the TV shows, just write them down, and I noticed a weird trend in the TV data. In the beginning, it was fairly, current TV shows. Some guy would say, I like Breaking Bad. And then, as we're going along the class to kind of, break the tension, I'd be like, oh, did you like the ending? Some people did. Some people didn't, and then we'd, laugh about it. And then some girl would say, oh, I like Vampire Diaries. And I'd be like, well, are you a Stefan or a Damon? And then the boys would look at me with really weird faces, and then we would awkwardly go on. But it gave you a nice way to introduce things. But what I started noticing over time was the TV shows seemed to get older and older. And so I'd start getting a lot of people said, I like The Office. Well, that's been off for quite a few years. And then I got quite a few that said, I like Friends. Well, that started before you were born. And then I started getting a few that said, I like Seinfeld. Well, that ended before you were born. So it started looking a little different. And so I started asking, do young people like or dislike old stuff? Popular culture would say no, hence the title of this slide, Oh Boomer. They despise old people and old things. They like young, vibrant stuff. But the question is that true? So some stats. I started looking up, and board game sales are up 2.11 billion in 2017. Okay, that's nice. But Graham actually attributed a lot of that to millennials. That's interesting. They like board games? I thought they just played Candy Crush. Well, no, and 80% of young adults have read a book. Well, that's good. 2% of them being in print? I thought they were all into this online, Amazon book thing, whatever. Print? That's strange. 81% of Gen Z'ers prefer in-store purchases? Brick and mortar? That's weird. Okay. 1 in 4 18 to 24-year-olds bought a vinyl record in the previous month. Hello, my mom called in the 70s, want their vinyl records back. That's just really strange. 61% of 18 to 29-year-olds watch television by way of streaming. Well, that makes sense. They're youngins. But 4 out of 20 of the most binge shows are already off the air. So obviously, some of those are young kids. There's outrage over Netflix losing Friends and The Office, old TV shows. Over 50% of the users of Netflix are between the ages of 18 and 49. So obviously some younger people must have liked Friends and Office. So a lot of the stats seem to at least suggest that maybe our ideas about young people not liking old stuff might be a little bit flawed. So, the study. Basically, I got a lackey. Hence, my co-executive producer, Steelman, that I already introduced. A freshman research scholar came to me and wanted to do some research. And so I thought, research in progress. I have all this data I've been getting over the last 7 years of favorite TV shows. So I'm going to have her look and see if this actually is a trend going on. So I had her go to tvdb.com. So if you don't know, tvdb.com looks like this. You're probably asking, why didn't I use imdb.com? That's the most well-known one. Well, tvdb.com, when you search for the TV show, the first page you get to has all the nice information you like. In IMDb, it's a little harder to find. You have the network, when it ran from, start date, end date, at least by month. You have the run time, what it's rated, the genre. And so it gives you all that nice information that you can get right there. And so that's why we got everything from tvdb.com. So the results. First off, I took the month that I asked them what their favorite TV show was and the final air month of the final episode of that TV show. If it hadn't yet ended, then it was 0. And so, therefore, it was a current TV show. If it had ended, then it was a 1, and it was a not current. Okay, so I looked at that, and in the beginning, it was kind of what I expected it to be, anywhere between 65 to 80% liked current TV shows, and the opposite were more of the not current. And then it started trending towards fairly equal, 50-50-ish, to by the end, in spring 2020, it actually completely reversed, where 75% of the students said that they actually liked a show that was not currently on the air. So I thought, okay, let's just check and see if we can look at the non-currentness. I've just coined this term of those TV shows. How not current are they? So I took the last episode air date and subtracted that from the current time. And so if it hadn't ended yet, that was a 0. So obviously it would be a little skewed. If it had ended, that it was the number of months. And so in the beginning, it was about 5 months between the last episode air date of their favorite TV show and when they told me it was their favorite TV show. And that steadily increased over time to the point where it was over 60 months. So from 5 months to over 5 years. So this is 5 years since the last episode aired of their favorite TV show. So these are, 20-year-olds. So if it was 5 years ago that the last episode aired, that's when they're in high school. So average show length is around 4 years. I mean, these shows were starting in junior high. Some of them, the longer TV shows, were starting when they were in elementary. And these are their favorite TV shows. So obviously they show an affinity towards them. So it definitely has become more non-current, or the non-currentness. In finale, basically I just wanted an entertaining first day if I could. What I noticed just anecdotally was the data wasn't what I expected. And so the literature suggests that popular cinema is wrong, that youngins actually do like old things. Future, less biased data gathering. Obviously, there's a research in progress. But when I go around the room and ask them, then the independence assumption is violated because people, after the person could hear what their favorite TV shows is, and that could affect what they say theirs is. Other things I'd like to look at: genre, length of the TV show, maybe the provider. I'd also like to see if this was correlated with actual data. So if anybody knows anybody at Netflix, please shoot me a line. And so thank you for tuning in to this broadcast, brought to you by the wonderful folks at Oklahoma State University, narrated by Andy Luse, co-produced by Sierra Steelman. That's all, folks.